So, how are you, sir?
Doing well, brother. How are you?
Good, very well, very well. So I didn't catch your name. So what was your name? Sean, was it?
Sean.
Sean.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sean. So, Sean, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how old you are, what you've
Yeah,
been
absolutely.
doing.
I'm 26 years old. I'm out here in America, specifically Texas. And
Ah, where
now
baby's
just
from.
hus-
One of the guys
Yes.
in the house, he's from there
Yes.
as well. Yeah, not
Yes.
from the same state though.
No, no, I'm in Houston, Texas. I'm not sure where he is.
He's out there somewhere.
Somewhere.
He's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, live there all your life.
Yeah. Born and brought up.
Okay, cool. So, where are your parents from?
India.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Nice, 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 nice. How's it been out there?
I haven't been in a while. I mean, my recent trip actually was in Dubai, so I haven't been out there since like
Ah, Dubai
2018.
man as well. How'd you like Dubai?
Oh, I loved it, man. I loved it.
Okay, cool.
Can't
So,
complain.
so tell me a little bit about yourself then. So, I mean, obviously you're a member of the real world, but you're
Yep.
26 years old. So what was you doing before that?
Yeah, so, I graduated university as a mechanical engineer, actually, and so I did 1 year of just field service engineer, which pretty much means you travel around in America and working with Amazon, yeah, warehouses and setting that up.
Hmm.
Um, and then I got a call, back here in Texas to actually be a business consultant for engineering firms. So I came back here and started consulting, and that's when, I'm consulting as like a 24-year-old to these CEOs and seeing all their tax structures and payrolls
That's
and
pretty
the amount
good.
of bread coming in. And that's when that was kind of like that COVID time, right? Where like, that's when Andrew and Tristan really started popping off on social media,
Yeah.
and just saying, talking about finances and money. And I was like, why am I this young, h- you know, consulting these CEOs and they don't know anything about how to run a business or money and stuff. And I saw how much there was out there. And so that's when it really kind of hit me and we started talking about the real world. And that's kind of when I signed up.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, you're you're 24 years old and you're consulting with these like CEOs of companies.
Mhm.
That must, I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, that must have been a good feeling, really, to be fair, because do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean,
These,
corporate, they'll hire you and they'll just throw you in, give you a salary and you're just working. It's not like they're some big professionals that would, when we come
mm,
in straight. So it kind of just shows you that like it's not really about the smartest person in the room who makes the money, right?
yeah.
So, it's just being in the right vehicle. So that's when I was like, I have to get in that vehicle if I want to win. So,
So you heard from the real world from say Andrew and
mhm.
Tristan.
Yep.
So what kind of made you join? What was the kind of driving influence that made you join?
I think it just started off just hearing him and obviously seeing his success and the metrics and it just especially like the interviews, um, just how professionally he spoke and how smart he was. It wasn't just like a one off. Like he went through so much, so many interviews and so much different
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
kind of encounters, and so that's when I started resonating with. That's everything he's saying is what no one wants to speak about, and he actually means what he
Correct.
says.
Yeah.
And it was just a rabbit hole that I just kept digging into,
Yeah.
and
It's
so
addictive.
yeah, and so that's when you get that fire, right, bro? And so and I was like, it doesn't hurt. I mean, I have good money coming in, great salary and everything. So I was just like, let me just join the real world and see
Yeah,
what it's
yeah.
about.
So you
So I
you
bought into the brand first, and then by proxy, I came into the actual software.
okay, cool. So you still working, but then you thought, okay, cool, let
Yep.
me just join it. And so what was the how did you find the whole real world? I mean, did you instantly go in there and know what you wanted to do, or did you go through a number of courses beforehand to actually get to where you wanted to get to?
Yeah, bro. I was like the guy that just kept hopping around. Like that was my problem. Just
Mm,
there's so much information, so many different campuses. It was just like you could sit there, like you could really be there all day, 8 hours, and get value. It's like you have to be really disciplined on locking in on something else because
yeah,
if you only have an hour a day or 2 hours a day to start with, coming back from work, it can get really distracting of the different channels.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that's what I was going to ask you. That was going to be my next question. So, how did you find the time, like with obviously your work, your day job, and
yeah.
going onto the real world for I don't know, an hour, 2 hours every day, 3 hours, however many hours you spent? How did you find that time, or do you just kind of like generally just make that time for yourself?
Yeah. It was really tough, I'm not gonna lie. I think, what happened, it's kinda silly, it got to the point in work where I was like, just enough of it, just the
Mm.
corporate life, and I stacked some cash to where I quit. I quit and I
Oh,
was like, "I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna go all in on being
right,
successful,"
okay.
and yeah, and I was like, "I'm not coming back. Once you close that door, I'll
Yeah,
figure it
yeah.
out somehow," right? So,
So
um
how far in did you decide that? How far into being into the
not
real did you
pretty close, like, I mean, it was during the whole propaganda, it wasn't too far in, brother, like, I really just started I actually started my first campus with Professor Pope in the e-commerce campus,
Yeah.
and it was, like, when I just, got the domain set up, like, it wasn't even, like, crazy money coming in or anything. I was just like, "I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna figure it out,"
Ah, that's good.
and
So
so,
you was
yeah.
focused. So then how long did you spend, like, hours a day on that, or did you just kind of like
All day. I mean, I would just wake up, hit the gym, and then just be on the computer. Obviously, it's not like you can do, like literally tasks every day if
mm,
there's like, weights or like if, you're getting domains verified. So, but I tried to stay focused every single day
mm.
for like about 4 months straight, just on
Okay,
campus.
that's cool. And then so the one that you ended up with,
Yeah.
what campus did you end up with? Or what
It,
campus did you end up resonating to the most?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because I kind of have a mixture of both. Like I'm in the AI automation campus, but I'm also in the business within the box, like with sales campus.
Mm,
And so I made all my money through sales now.
yeah.
So essentially what happened was um, I was trying to find because I even went through the content creation. I tried it all, right? And
Mm,
what happened was I think I was trying to it was friction between what I was trying to find and learn as a new skill rather than just embracing what skills I can currently use and just
right.
expedite the process, right?
Yeah.
So I really just found that since I was consulting previously, I could speak a little bit better. And so then I just analyzed that all the money was flowing in AI in 2025, especially.
Mm,
And so I
mm.
was like, okay, why don't I use my sales skills from the sales campus to sell AI solutions, but not be the guy who's doing the fulfillment?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's kind of how I resonated with both.
I resonate with both, and that's the next thing I was going to ask. Did you take anything from your experiences from your work into the real world, or was it just all new to you? And or yeah, I'll leave it
Yeah.
at that one because I could go in.
Yeah, no, definitely, corporate definitely helped me, speak to like remove this fear of speaking to business owners and
Yeah,
CEOs.
yeah.
Definitely taught me a lot, but I think to be fair, more than anything, this is going to be the funniest thing. I didn't like in the sales course, even with the real world, the most I learned was just by watching like Andrew's interviews, the EMs, because I analyzed that like he can motivate people just from speaking off of a screen, not even having a
Oh,
one-on-one
yeah,
conversation. So
yeah,
if you could understand his tonality, the words he says, use his dialogue, or just some of his analogies, which I use on sales calls, it motivates people to take action in that moment, which again then drives money in, right? So
yeah, 100%,
that's really what I did rather more than corporate, skills.
it's one of the things that like I admire about Andrew because when he actually speaks, he's very, very kind of direct and he's very like he uses proper correct analogies
Yeah.
to describe certain things that he does. But he also doesn't say like he prides himself in not saying the word you know
Yeah.
what people say like when
Yeah.
they're talking and like and then they go into something and like I try to do that all the time. It just doesn't
Yeah,
work. Like
yeah.
when I'm doing like other podcasts, it's like
Yeah.
I have to pause. What I've learned is that when I are gonna say I just pause and I just pause for a
Mm.
second. I go just directly straight into it.
Yeah.
So I mean that's see I've just done it then. That's one of the things I notice it. That's the thing. I know
Yeah,
if you can kind of combat that like little thing, then what you say and how you articulate things comes across a little bit stronger. So what was the kind of hardest part about transitioning from say like your work and then joining the real world and I'll start with that question first. What was the hardest part about transitioning from that and then starting your
yeah.
business journey in the real world?
I think the hardest part, hands down, is going to be like this instant gratification. When you are in a corporate setting, bi-weekly, whether you do work or not, like you're going to get a paycheck and you're going to see that type of reward.
Mm,
Rather than when you come in here, you could work. so hard, 200%, 14 days
Mm,
straight, and there's not going to be cash that comes in the next day.
mm,
And
mm,
so it's the understanding that it's a compound effect, and like these skills take time to learn.
mm.
And maybe you see somebody at the campus who's raking in some cash or money, but it's like you don't really know the backstory, and it's like you can't compare yourself to there, and you just have
Yeah,
to keep moving because
keep it, yeah,
the second you stop, like, to be fair, if I just kept going with the e-commerce campus and I just kept trying different products, I would have hit, but I didn't have that in me to keep testing different products and keep moving the first time I got in here. So it's really about consistency and discipline, and staying laser focused, without
yeah,
comparing yourself to everybody else, because
true,
otherwise
exactly.
you're so used to just getting fed like a paycheck that you're just going to expect that coming in here right
Yeah,
away, and you're going to be
most
like, oh, this
definitely.
doesn't work.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you get more gratification of actually doing things yourself. Anyway, and that's what I find with my
Yeah.
own business. I get more gratification. Like, hey, cool, I might not get a paycheck tomorrow, but
Yeah.
then when it actually does come in, I find that I've kind of earned that. I've kind of really, really worked for that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I just, there's more gratification. There's more gratification for myself, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
kind of feel,
100%.
better when it actually comes in. Um,
100%.
so any kind of, obviously you generate most of your money, as you said, from sales. So was there any kind of failures along the way, and what was your kind of main turning point?
Not necessarily. I think, again, I think I was a little bit lucky with sales just because I could speak, and it's not necessarily the same path for everybody else.
Mm,
Um, I wouldn't say there was a struggle. The only struggle is just, you have, again, it's all mindset at the end of the
mm,
day.
mm,
All of this is like, you can get very even complacent even in sales when you become good, because it's like you can make cash in one day. I can
mm,
you can take home like a couple bands, right? And it's just like, okay, now I can relax for the week or the month, because it's like I've made more than everyone around me in my circle or in my family in just a week. But it's really just, some weeks you can go weeks or 2 weeks without getting anything, and it's just like that'll get in your head, and if you stay in that slump, it's going to keep going over, and that negative energy feeds off on your calls.
yeah,
It's really just, that's why I love the community in the campus, because it just keeps me in high state, high energy. I'm
mm,
always listening. Every night before I go to sleep, I listen to Luke's lessons every night,
yeah,
every day. So that's really, more than anything, it's like I'm not really doing the daily lessons or actual campus. It's just the speaking, the motivations, the wins, the community, and that keeps me
yeah,
fired up on my calls,
yeah.
to keep moving.
So you say you're in the sales kind of campus. You resonate more towards the sales campus to do selling, and that's kind of like what you say is, if correct me if I'm wrong, the bread and butter of what you do. So what do you sell, and how do you get kind of like new clients? How do you keep that? How do you keep that moving? How do you, yeah? How do
Yeah. So what I do essentially is that I found, like, essentially I sell right now AI business opportunities to individuals, who are looking to start an AI automation business, just like we do here in the real world.
you?
There's I have a mentor here who essentially is, scaled his AI agency, and now he helps others do the same. So
Hmm.
I'm learning, the marketing from his company, and sales. Obviously, I'm doing it, and then I understand the fulfillment. So while creating, just like all of us students are creating an AI agency internally, I'm selling for an existing agency that does over 3 million a month. So there's leads coming in. It's just about, pushing them through across the line. And in the process, I'm getting educated to create my own. Right. So,
Okay, cool. So
um,
you're independent away from that. You're just kind of freelancing, or should I say, kind of
yeah, contracting. Yeah.
contracting from the agency, and that's how you get
Yep.
your
Yep.
constant clients. So, okay, that's good. So it's always consistent for you then.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
packed. It's packed. Yeah,
So that's
it's
good.
packed. Yeah.
That's good. So then, obviously, you don't have to. Do you have any other clients outside of the agency that you work with, or do you kind of
Yeah,
generate?
I do. But that's small money, and that's because
Yeah.
it's right now where the cash flow is for me is just, it's sitting so hot in this that I don't want to, like, lose my energy off of it. I am still nurturing that, and I have a client that we do, lead generation and automation for,
Mhm.
but it's a small ticket client. Most of my money comes from just direct sales.
Yeah, yeah. So how does the real world help you to achieve obviously the because obviously you've got your background from
Mhm.
your thing, so then you've gone into the real world. You've done sales and you've done um, AI automation, is what you said.
Yep,
Yeah.
correct.
So
Yep.
then, how does the real world help you to achieve the sales and everything else that you're doing at the moment? How's it helped you?
Yeah. So the foundations of like, like when Andrew, speaks even in his campus where it talks about the business and speed to success and money in versus money out, all of these small things that I'm saying is these analogies that he speaks on, these business principles. It This is what led me to become the top salesman. Like
Mm,
the way it's not even just like a specific campus, it's everything culminating. I've taken the best, and like even the AI automation campus,
yeah,
knowing like every day there's a daily update on the news of what's happening with AI, being able to spit that into your client immediately in real time and saying, hey, this is happening, like
mm,
where's going to be like what's going to happen to your market if you don't take action with this now.
yeah,
That
yeah.
moves them, right? So it's like I use a mixture of both. I wouldn't say I'm like so focused as a student just in the AI automation campus,
Yeah.
which majority do, right? But I think it's the the real world is so beneficial in so many smaller ways that people don't
Mm,
realize, that you can start your day with the motivation. You can start, then you can learn just the foundational principles about business that Andrew teaches, then use your sales skills to analyze that. Okay, AI automation is where all the money's flowing to, so if I can sell AI solutions in
yeah.
some way, shape, form, or fashion, I win. So I use all three different
It's
campuses,
really
to be
together.
fair,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah. Good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. Okay, so then what does the next, let's say, 2 to 5 years look like for you? What I mean, do you have any kind of plans, goals in the
Absolutely.
next, yeah, in the next 2 to 5 years?
So the next 2 to 5 years, I plan on having like officially my own AI agency. Right now that I've learned everything myself, now I can start doing marketing for my company at a higher level.
Mm,
Most probably, hire out people like myself to start taking sales calls for me. Now that I know everything about it, I can train them, I can teach them, I can make sure everything is done well, and then just kind of start, focusing on the fulfillment of these AI solutions, because AI is only getting better. So my fulfillment for my clients can get better,
yeah.
and then have enough cash just to join the war room and go get out there with you guys.
You know, there's initiation when you come into the war room. So learn to
Yeah,
fight right now.
yeah,
Learn to
yeah.
fight. That's all I'm
Would
saying. There's initiation going on. So there's
would
a marketing campus. You use the marketing campus within the real world
yeah.
as well.
Yes, the affiliate marketing campus. I see it. I'm a part of it, but I haven't really taken advantage of it as I should. I'll tell you
Okay,
that.
cool. Because
Um,
that, I mean, that's in there as well. And one of the two strong points that I always say is sales and marketing.
yep,
So obviously you be able to sell. I can sell. I was a salesman. I'm able to sell. I still an Eskimo, if you want to put it like that. But also it's the marketing. So it's how you kind of market yourself, and obviously you got the selling point of view. So it's how you market yourself as well. So
yep.
that's right. I always think that those two kind of run
Oh yeah,
parallel with each other.
yep,
So get kind of associated with that marketing campus, because that will help you with your sales and how you want to push that out there as well. And it's there for you anyway. So
yeah, yeah, hundred
you
percent.
may as well just may as well just use it there.
Yep,
Okay, cool. So final question, I think. I am one of your friends. I don't know if how many friends that you hang out with that are in the real world or that are not in the real world, but what would you say to someone that, I mean, they can probably see your success anyway,
yeah, yeah,
but what would you say to someone that's looking at you and thinking, how did you get to the level that you get to? How did you just decide that you want to just leave a company just like that and then just decide to just go on your own path? What would you say
yeah.
to someone to kind of like, you know, what your journey, explain your journey, or how would you make someone join the real world? I'm asking about five
Yeah,
different questions all in
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Just
It's
kind of round it off for me, please.
it's all good. Well, I would first say that like the individuals who want to be successful can be successful, but they have to have an open mind.
Mm,
If you ask me how I did it, well, it's because I understood that the people around me, wasn't going to get me to the life that I wanted, and so everything that you think, or you have to question. Okay, this way of thinking has led me to where I am today. So if I
mm,
want to change my output, I have to do something different,
mhm,
and that's what that resonated with me with the community here, right? And so everything that you know all of Tate's brands, all of his his followers, his community, they are all getting more rich, more stronger, more, in every metric possible, getting better. And so the solution is, if you want to get better, find a mentor who can get you better. And if you don't have one, well, then find the community that can get you there.
I can get you
Right.
there.
So,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely,
yes,
absolutely.
it's pretty logical. I think everyone just, they're afraid to take action. It's just, but that,
Yeah,
when you don't take
they
action, you keep the same result. So,
yeah, they kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? They kind of procrastinate
yeah,
over whether they want to do it or whether they don't want to do it.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And it's just the thing where if you're going to do it, just do it. Do
yeah,
you know what I mean? If
yeah,
you're gonna go to the shop to buy something, you're gonna go to the shop and buy something. So it's
yeah,
exactly the same thing.
yeah,
And for the obviously for the current price that it is at the moment,
yeah,
it's so worth it. So
yeah,
worth it.
100%.
But that was fantastic. Thank you very much for your insight on that.
For sure.
Um, wish you all the best. I
Thank
know
you,
you're
brother.
gonna do well. You just seem super zeroed in and zeroed focused. So it's
Yes,
all
sir.
no
Yes,
worries.
sir.
And yeah, we'll be keeping an eye out. We'll be keeping an eye out, and we'll probably have another conversation in, I don't know, probably about 6 months or so. See where
Yeah,
you get into, maybe a year. See where you get
yeah,
into. But keep doing what you're doing. And as I said before, there are obviously you've got different campuses on there, so you can go in at your own time when you're looking to think about starting to build your own. Just think
yeah,
you've got everything under one roof, so
yeah.
you've got
Yep.
everything now that you can work with. So yeah, I wish you all the best.
100%. Thank you,
Absolute
brother.
best, no problem.
Take care.
Take care, Angie.